mile-wide UFO caught on camera. Is this a mothership? This is Enter the Unfamiliar with an unfamiliar news update. There have been a string of sightings recently caught on camera that either could be a number of smaller UFOs lined up in some sort of formation flying across the sky, or, more eerily, this is one large craft. And these have been seen all over the world. Now, one of the most famous cases is the lights over Phoenix, which happened in 1997. This was a true-life mass UFO sighting that occurred on March 13th, 1997 over the skies of Phoenix and as far away as Tucson and neighboring New Mexico. Now, this has been seen by hundreds of observers that night. Some with video cameras. There are films and pictures of this. You can see for yourself. The governor had also witnessed this. Recently, he came out admitting that this was a real event, and it was unidentified. At the time, he made a joke of it because he had to try to cover up this event. But in a memoir that came out a few years ago, he basically comes clean and says, yes, this was a real event. It was a UFO. The government knew about it, and they couldn't track it. At 7:30 p.m., a triangular configuration of 5 lights was seen moving through the skies. The more widely seen and filmed incident occurred around 10 p.m., where thousands of people saw about 6 lights moving through the sky in a V-shaped formation. The Air Force later made the claim that these were simply aerial flares. But UFO believers have poured skepticism on this, claiming it is unlikely that the flares could have remained in the same configuration for hundreds of miles. This is not the only mass sighting. As history often does, it seems to be repeating itself. Now, this is coming from Fox 5 in Vegas. This, as of February 12th, just a few days ago, mysterious lights seen in the Las Vegas sky early Friday morning. Now you'll see behind me here a picture of these lights in a formation. Not sure what they are. Some people believe this could be Starlink, something that Elon Musk is messing with, other sorts of satellites. But the odd thing is it held configuration, and there are several of them that seem to be next to each other, not just one continuous straight line. And this has been seen all over the world. There's been sightings all over America of this sort of configuration. Now, I find it hard to believe that Starlink can be in many places at once. Mysterious lights were seen over Las Vegas early in the morning. Fox 5 reporter Dylan Kendrick was downtown Las Vegas just after 5 a.m. when he saw a strand of lights appear above him in the sky. Most of the lights were lined up in a single file, flying south just before disappearing into the darkness. As you can see there, it's a very strange configuration in the sky, and something you're not used to seeing. Certainly not a constellation of any kind. I myself have seen something similar to this in the skies of California. Nellis Air Force Base was conducting red flag exercises over the past month, so it's possible that the lights are connected to that. Fox 5 had reached out to Nellis for more information, but they hadn't received any word as of yet. Elon Musk's Starlight satellites have been seen in the night sky looking similar to this configuration as well, so that's another possibility. But that can't explain everything. Here we have another story. This is multiple witnesses see strange rows of lights in the sky from California to Mexico. This, taking a look at the picture here, looks very similar to the lights over Phoenix event from 1997. Viewers have suggested that the mystery lights could be anything from UFO aliens to Elon Musk's Starlink satellites. A line of unusual lights has been spotted hovering in the night sky, with witnesses from both the U.S. and Mexico claiming to have seen them. Several witnesses have shared their video online from their March 31st sighting. One video posted to Mutual UFO Network shows 4 orbs appearing to change color above Laguna Beach in California. Another light that appears as the objects hovering in a perfect line, some 80 miles down the coast. Another video emerged of the same site over San Diego. Again, the lights seemed to hover in a straight line before slowly disappearing one by one. But it wasn't just California that saw these. Another 40 miles south of San Diego, in the Mexican area of Playa de Tijuana, a third video emerged of 7 mysterious objects hovering in the same formation. You can see here, the Starlink satellites do not get this bright and do not appear this low in the sky from everything I've observed. So I don't believe this is what this is. The collection of videos were shared on YouTube, the Conspiracy Channel Hidden Underbelly. He wrote these lights seemed to appear out of nowhere and were visible for about 15 minutes before disappearing one by one, leaving the witnesses puzzled and entertained by the aerial display performed by these orbs. Some said they also saw the lights, with one even writing, "I saw the same thing in Sacramento yesterday." Another added, "Whatever these things are, and whoever's in them, they must want to be seen." One suggestion was that they were simply Elon Musk's Starlink satellites, which can often be seen from the sky. Again, I don't believe this is what we're looking at. Another said they could be military flares. However, those don't seem to go straight across the sky. They kind of hover up above and slowly drop below the skyline. So, a similar explanation has been given in the past for UFO sightings. Why are people shooting multiple flares up all the time? Why are there all these flares all over the world occurring? It is an interesting question. And here we have another. Mystery as cluster of red lights move in formation over motorway in Texas. Conspiracy theorists have ruled out that the lights are Chinese lanterns. That's another explanation given. Chinese lanterns. As it is the Chinese New Year, it's understandable, but highly unlikely, given their positioning and that they're not flickering. So they've ruled that out. Bizarre footage showing several red UFOs hovering in the night sky in Texas has sparked a conspiracy frenzy. The strange video taken from El Paso shows 8 bright lights slowly moving across the sky. 4 seemed clustered in a group, with the bottom orb appearing to flash much like a plane. Ahead of them, the further 4 can be seen flying away in a line, again a formation. The video was taken by Mario Rios at 7:15 p.m. on March 17th, after posting it to YouTube. So in this footage, we can see that these red orbs following some sort of flight path as they go over the building. Again, Chinese lanterns and flares do not follow flight paths, unless they are drone-controlled Chinese lanterns. Now, I know we could write these off as Chinese lanterns, but they don't seem to be flickering either. And again, following a flight path, if you look at the two in front of them, they seem to be very tight together. It's not so easy to write this off as a Chinese lantern. Hundreds of people have seen the clip, many voicing their own thoughts of what the objects could be. Most of the consensus is that they are indeed not Chinese lanterns. Another bizarre claimed to have seen the same lights in Brazil, adding that there were more than 50 lights which ran in the sky and disappeared into space. Those lights are ours. It said that 75% of the lights are our own, reverse engineered. Another suggested. More practically, they could be nothing more than drones. However, again, it's unlikely if they're going into space that they're drones. They can't get that high up into the sky. Drones have a limit as how high up they can go. Yet again, mass UFO sightings reported over Cincinnati as mystery lights filmed vanishing from sight. Social media had been flooded with reports of UFOs appearing over Cincinnati, as baffling footage appears to show these lights vanishing and reappearing. Shocked witnesses Lyanna and Angie captured the bizarre sightings in the skies above the city of Ohio on August 3rd. The clip begins with 4 bright lights moving in a line across the gray clouds, and one by one they start to vanish from the sight. They're gone. I just don't know, quoted the camera woman. And then the objects seem to reappear. A 5th light then emerges on the left-hand side of the screen. Something comes in from the left. They appear to be in a straight row in a slight angle. It was still daylight, so they were some sort of physical craft, which I'm sure they probably were. How come you couldn't see them, they ask. Another witnesses captured the moment from a different location in Cincinnati and submitted it to YouTube star Blake Cousins of Third Phase of Moon. The clip captured the lights changing from triangular shape into a single line before moving back. 3 or 4 lights disappear for a moment and then gradually reappear. Other videos have surfaced on Twitter since the sighting on Saturday, and dozens of people have claimed they saw the lights as well. So this is an ongoing phenomenon from one part of this country to the other. Something very similar. A long line of lights seem to be following a formation, going across the sky, going up into space. This cannot be all weather balloons, Chinese lanterns, flares. There are more flares going up in the night skies recently than any time in history, if that's the case. This brings me to one of the most profound sightings I think that's probably been captured on film, and probably one of the scariest if it is indeed true. This is a gigantic 3,000 mile wide UFO that was filmed from the ISS. This is coming from timefordisclosure.com. Now this was an article that was published in October 26th of 2020, yet the sighting happened in 2013. As you can see here, 3,000 miles. This would be basically the size, width of the United States of America. This would indeed be an incredible mothership if this is true. Just as the title suggests, the largest disk that the world has ever encountered as of yet has been discovered by NASA recently, according to ufologists. Although people have been speculating about its length ever since NASA originally reported its appearance, it was concluded in the end that the ship is at least 3,000 miles in total. And it's been spying on humanity right as we speak. Whether it's trying to establish contact or keep a low profile, we don't know. But what we do know is that it's massive, and it's not something we ever want to see the bad side of. NASA officially came up with its discovery at the Brasilia Planetarium presentation all the way back in 2013. The pictures that they came out with were all taken by the International Space Station, and according to them, these pictures are 100% legit with no edits having been done before that moment. A lot of people believe that this is the mothership of a fleet of alien spaceships, but why would the mothership approach us so much? Could it be a defense shield of some sort? Why did it choose Earth in the first place? And why would it just leave right afterward? These are questions that need answers, and we're afraid NASA cannot offer them, or they are not telling us. This is one of the most profound pictures, if it is true, and it seems that the evidence is pointing to it being true. Is this the mothership that these craft are leaving from? Is it cloaked up above us? Is it moving in and out of a dimensional space? It's hard to say. We've never quite seen anything like this or this large, and there it is hovering above the Earth. Now, this makes me think of something that was said by Vatican representative Father Malachi Martin, and he said this in a 1997 interview with Art Bell on Art Bell's Coast to Coast. He was asked why the Vatican was heavily interested in the study of deep space. They have probably the world's most sophisticated observatory in Arizona. It's a mountain called Mount Graham in Arizona. It is a very sacred place to natives in Arizona, and they had to fight very hard to get the planetarium built there, to have the permission to build it there, which raises other questions. Why did they need this very holy mountain, which the natives equate to a star portal of sorts? So there's a whole story there. But nonetheless, they asked him, why is the Vatican so interested? And this was his response. He replied, quote, "Because the mentality among those who are at the highest levels of the Vatican administration and geopolitics know what's going on in space and what's approaching us. Could be of great importance in the next 5 to 10 years. Now this is from 1997. 10 years, we hit 2007. This mothership was seen, or at least first spotted, in 2013. Many people questioned what he could be referring to. Could this be planet Nibiru, Planet X? Is this some kind of giant asteroid? Or perhaps this is the mothership that we now have photographic evidence of from the ISS. The Vatican definitely has a deep interest in space and seems to be aware that something was approaching us as far back as 1997, and it seems by their calculations and estimates that it could, most likely is, already here. Whatever this is, I do believe that it is all connected, and we're headed to a convergence. Disclosure, them revealing themselves, whoever they are. My opinion is they are interdimensional, and they are up to no good. But depending on your point of view, you might disagree, and that's okay. But I think one thing we can agree on is this stuff is very real. It seems to be increasing. The sightings are increasing all over the world. They seem to be getting not only more sightings, but more massive sightings, more massive crafts are being seen. Whether this is us reverse engineering or them with their advanced technology is yet to be determined, but I do believe we are headed to some sort of disclosure very soon. So we will keep an eye on this. Keep your eyes to the skies, and if you see this thing, call out in prayer against it. That would be my best advice to you. Tune in on Sunday nights at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time as we enter the unfamiliar on our live show weekly. We talk about the UFO phenomenon, the paranormal, biblical prophecies, strange mysteries, and hidden histories. We thank you for watching.